In the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, there was an urgent need for personal protective equipment for our frontline medical workers. Supplies were low and demand was high. And I'm proud to say that Maryland's manufacturing industry rose to the challenge.
As difficult as the past year has been for all of us, it has been a testament to the resilience of Maryland manufacturers and their commitment to helping us all stay safe and healthy.
COVID-19 and the impacts of COVID really started to hit the manufacturing sector a few months before the general population even felt it. Like every other industry and every other business, the manufacturers went into a little bit of a panic, right? What's next? What does this mean for us? So for us at Maryland MEP, right from the beginning, we were receiving calls of assistance from the manufacturing community asking, am I essential? What does that mean? What do I have to do to stay open and protect my employees? Or how can I help? My team was able to step up and work with those companies to not only answer those questions, but also to get them some resources to help them to continue to operate through the pandemic.
So at the beginning of the pandemic, it was crazy. I mean, our business had come to a screeching halt. There was no customers calling, there were no sales happening. We decided we had to figure out a way to survive and get through this pandemic. Our customers started calling on us for PPE, saying, we don't care about the branding, but can you help us just get blank products, blank hand sanitizer, masks, whatever it is. MEP came to us and said they were standing up something called the Manufacturers Network Supplier Portal. This portal was going to be used to connect people in need with manufacturing suppliers that could kind of make that handshake and support each other. MEP did an awesome job with this portal. In short order, we had several hundred customers reaching out to us for different items of PPE. And at the end of the day, we came through for just about everybody and what they needed. A lot of those people still calling us today for their PPE needs, and we've managed to also deepen those relationships where now they've become customers of Strategic Factory.
Maryland manufacturers leapt into action when the pandemic hit. Many companies quickly shifted to making the personal protective equipment, and the Maryland Department of Commerce was eager to step in and help. Our emergency relief grants helped support our manufacturers through this sudden transition, and these companies reported that they were able to retain more than 850 jobs and create more than 550 new jobs.
Maryland MEP helped a number of these companies apply for that funding and implement those changes. Companies like Triton Defense down in Southern Maryland, who makes military and defense products and equipment, were able to switch and partner up with Southern Maryland Loves You to incorporate a brand new technology to sanitize PPE and items through heat.
When we started 3D printing face masks, we just couldn't make enough. People were asking me for thousands of face masks for their nursing home or their hospital. And a lot of times I had to tell people I couldn't do it. And so that's really when Matt and I decided that instead of making PPE, we needed to come up with a way to sanitize PPE and to reuse it. Started out with a small oven that we just conceptualized the idea of taking that small oven and making it bigger. We did it right here. Matt walked over about a mile away to Triton Defense, told Jason and Kevin his idea, and they loved it.
When he came to us, he wanted us to take a sea container and sandblast it, paint it, and modify it for his idea to take heat to sanitize PPE. We quickly realized that the paint wouldn't dry by the time he needed it, so given the lasers and the technology, the engineering we have here, we made it in such a way that it could be mass produced right here from 1 to 100, whatever you need, very fast. The first unit was produced from the time we met Matt. I believe it was 7 days it was done.
Anytime that I've had something that had to do with manufacturing, I've just always gone back to Mike and his people to ask them for help or guidance. He offered a letter of support and match sponsorship for a grant that we were going for. It made all the difference in the world, and we were able to start to use that to catalyze others to jump in and join.
The grant money really helped keep the guys going, kept everybody employed, and then gave us the opportunity to jump in and help with this with Southern Maryland Loves You.
As it became clear that the increased demand for masks, face shields, gowns, and other PPE was the new normal, Commerce was very pleased to work with the Maryland Manufacturing Extension partners, and input from our Manufacturing Advisory Group helped us develop best practices to guide businesses through a safe reopening.
We've got companies like Lion Distilling and Charm City Mead Works that in the normal course of times are producing alcohols, and they were able to pivot their operations to start producing hand sanitizers and cleaning solutions. Maryland MEP saw a role to help them navigate the waters. These are companies that are not normally producing cleaning equipment. They're not normally producing sanitizers, and now they found themselves in a whole new industry with new regulations, new requirements, and new processes that they had to follow.
When the pandemic hit, we were talking with our friends at Mount Royal Soap Company who were looking for a way to upscale their sanitizer production. They work with, they worked in quarts at that point in time. And we've got all these tanks, as you can see behind us, and a lot kind of equipment, pumps and mixers and all kinds of stuff. So we were able to ramp it up. We were able to keep, revenue in to keep our own employees going, keep the lights on. We were able to employ some other people at the time who had recently gotten out of work due to the pandemic. We were able to expand up. That's what allowed us to do the sanitizer stuff and jump into that in the middle of COVID.
We transitioned from beverage alcohol to sanitizing alcohol overnight. It was really wonderful to feel like we had a purpose. I mean, literally, we're like, oh, we'll make one batch, right? And then it was like, holy moly, everyone in the world needs this and nobody has it. And they don't need a gallon, they need 5,000 gallons. We were small, and there's no way we were going to be able to satisfy all of that. So we reached out to our fellow distillers, of which there are many across the state of Maryland, and really figured out who had what resources, how we could pull together to get raw materials, and how we could best and quickly serve the need. MD MEP's portal went online, and it made things so much simpler. People were easily able to connect with us, send us an email, and I could identify and get in touch with them. And we really did make it a priority to get our product to all of our Maryland businesses first. All of the Maryland agencies specifically purchased from Maryland distilleries, and the state agency's commitment to buying from Maryland distilleries during that time made it much easier to invest in the ancillary supplies and ingredients we needed to produce it for a longer term than we initially planned.
One of the things that continues to amaze me is the resiliency of the manufacturing community, and the response from the manufacturing community was really overwhelming. We had manufacturers that put their hands up right away and they said, we're making these things, we're able to make these things, or with just a little bit of help, we know we can make these things. But I'll also be very proud of how the MD-MEP team stepped up and helped. I know we pushed them hard, I know the manufacturers pushed them hard, and we saw the fact that if those manufacturers weren't open and operating, there was literally thousands of families that were going to have no income during that time. As we emerge from COVID, companies are looking at opportunities for what can we bring back to Maryland? What can we start producing in Maryland that maybe we were relying on outside parties to provide for us? That culture of problem solving, that culture of innovation is going to become more and more prevalent, and we're going to see manufacturers capitalize on these opportunities.